welcome back. So you've seen in the picture that we're going to be doing this watermelon tumbler. Now what I did here was I really wanted a bright pink kind of mix that I could put on something that was like that I really needed a bright pink on, and then I also wanted to do this color because I thought that putting this on a red base would be really cool for the watermelon and give it that awesome, you know, pinky red kind of look that watermelons have. And so I thought this mixture here of these glitters, I kind of pulled them all out and I just did like 7.5. I just like drew a line on the little medicine cup, and then I just poured each one in up to that line and then poured it in there. So that is like an exact mix. It's really not, you know, I just kind of put equal parts of everything. But then on this one, I thought that there wasn't that much chunky, and I used Chillout from Serenade, discount down below. And I thought, you know what, I need to put a little bit more chunky in here. And so I used one more pour of the Chillout, and I think that but it's a iridescent, so it just kind of reflects whatever color is going to be in there, so it worked out perfect. And putting this on a bright pink base and a bright red base worked out really well, and I'll probably be using this mix many times. So I had to order a bunch of these handle tumblers for a big huge order that I was doing, and so I just kind of ordered a few more just to make sure, just in case of an accident or something, you know, whatever. So so I have a few of these, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to use this as like a summer cup, and so, you know, it's easier to hold it when you're at the beach or by the pool or whatever, or outside. So this vinyl here is a transparent vinyl that I got from Banff Custom Creations. I got a couple of sub boxes because I had heard some good things and I wanted to see kind of what they were like. And so these last few you know, tutorials I've had have been from those boxes that I did. Now I just basically measured an amount and just cut it to be that, and then that was it. Like, it was not an exact, I was not an exact science. It was just basically like, this is a good enough space, or this is a good enough amount to cover that top part. So, and then what I'm doing here is mixing my green. Now, I had intentions different for this green, and I was going to put another transparent color over it, which you can see right there to the right. There's like a green flamingo kind of monstera leaf, you know, tropical theme. Well, I was kind of going for a light green, but it still ended up being a little bit darker than what I had wanted. And all of these are Chase Ray, and I have them all listed down below, and there is a discount code attached to that link. So you can make this mix. You could get all these and make your own mix. This green mix, it's gorgeous. It very much coincides with the look and the style of the pink. And that was what I was going to do. I was going to put that on top of that. But you'll see later on that it does not work out that way. So I wanted to paint this in the traditional watermelon colors because I wanted those deeper bases underneath to pull out the pink in that red, and then that I knew that was going to be a transparent, but it is still red. So I wanted something lighter underneath there. I didn't want just a really dark red and then make it just red, red, red. So I wanted to have that light pink underneath. I think worked out well. But the green, in hindsight, I probably should have done a little bit lighter green. So I wasn't able to use that transparent, you know, sticker around, you know, that vinyl around that green part because it was just too dark. So had I used like a green apple spray paint or something a little bit lighter, I think that the green, you know, would have worked out, and I could have put that light green that I mixed would have worked out the way that I thought it was in my mind. And you can see here that it does have like this peachy kind of pink red color, and that was perfect what I wanted. And then also you can see, let's just take a look at that gorgeous summery bright pink. Anyways, and then see the pink that's over here on the side, that is what I was using. That's what I kind of designed it for. But then I also was like, you know what, I'm going to use this on a watermelon. So I kind of did it on both of those cups so that it would kind of have two different looks. And also, I just painted it, and then I put epoxy on there, and I just glittered it. I didn't do an ombre or anything. Oh, let's take a look at this green. It's so pretty. I evidently really wanted to show y'all these colors, and this mix was very, very pretty. I think it could definitely be something in your wheelhouse, or in your mixes, you know, put it up there. Anyways, so I just basically glittered the green to the green part, and I glittered the pink or the red to the red part, and that was it. I knew I was going to be doing a band in the middle of a white so that it could be kind of reminiscent of the rind, and then the green was going to be the other part of the rind. So I had it all planned out, but it just, the one little thing didn't work out. Everything else worked out fine. But I just put a coat of epoxy on here. You really want to make sure you get in those that handle, get around that handle. Don't, make sure it doesn't puddle up too much on that handle, because it will kind of, well, puddle, you know, in the inside of that handle. So just be aware of that. So I just cut that to be the length that I wanted it to be. Now I'm going to cut off these, you know, white pieces, just to make sure that I don't get that in the mix, and you know, put it on there and get it all, you know, jostled or nothing. So I made sure I trimmed that off. And then this is when I decided that I was like, you know, this is probably going to be too dark for that green. But I was like, let's do the watermelon part, and then we'll go from there. So I started off with the watermelon seed vinyl being right up next to that handle, because I wanted the seam to kind of be where that handle was. Also, it does help keep this a lot straighter when you are right up on that handle. So anyways, this is just like a clear, it has the consistency of vinyl, but it's clear. So it just, you want to make sure you're putting this on, you know, a glittery base, because it's not going to, you know, if you can't really put it on a dark base. So that's kind of why I wanted to use this on that lighter pink. And so, you know, you just kind of have to think about these things when you're doing these transparent, you know, you don't have to necessarily do it on a white base because they're transparent. You know, you can kind of think outside the box, and that's kind of what I wanted to show here. So I just snipped the sides there and pulled down the middle and pulled down the sides, and then I just kind of trimmed in around that, you know, handle there. And then that strip that I kind of left off to the side here, we're going to put that on top of the handle so that our handle kind of blends in. So I just kind of put it just on that very top of the handle, all going from the top to the bottom. So then I just made sure everything looked, you know, solid. The top looked good. I didn't need to trim up anywhere. And then I just took that excess there and just put that on the very top. I did make sure that I kind of got it right at the top there, so I would only have to cut one side of it. And then I put that down and then just cut that remainder off. I did kind of stretch it around the handle so that I could get a good fit, and I could trim it and still it look, you know, clean on there. I didn't want it to be, you know, too jagged or anything like that. So I just trimmed that bottom piece right there on the edge. Now we're going to be putting a band there, so I wasn't too concerned with it being exactly perfect. And then I just took my X-Acto knife and kind of made a slit, and then I just kind of went up underneath there and made a slice, you know, as careful as I could there, all around the side, so that we could just trim that little bit off on the handle there. So here was the moment of truth. I was like, I know this isn't going to work, but I'm going to try it, and I'm going to see if it will work. And I was like, let me just make sure that, you know, I didn't. So I was like, okay, let me see if I lined it up here. And then I was like, oh, wait, I need to do it because the flamingos were upside down. So I was like, wait, okay, let me do it on this side. And then I mean, the second I put it on there, I was like, there's nothing to it. There's just no, you could not see any of the, you know, design. So I was like, oh, well, we're just going to have a green bottom. No big deal. So I'm using my new Cami Page, vinyl cutter thing, and I'm using that to cut the top part because it was just a little bit the way that top kind of curves up a little bit, it just gets too messy up there, and you just have to mess around too much. So I just was like, I'm just gonna slice this off, and we'll just make it a day. And here I was using just a strip of white vinyl that I had. I have scraps of stuff that I'm always like, I can't throw it away because what if I needed it? But anyways, I had a strip of white, and so I just kind of trimmed it up the best I could. Now I was going to be putting like a pinstripe. I wanted to put a pinstripe on there. At this point, I was like, we're going to do something a little bit different. And so I was going to put the white band on there regardless, but it would have been looked a little different with that design on the bottom. But now we're going to go a different route. So I put the white band on there, and then I went into my green drawer and I found some of this polka dot vinyl that I have literally had probably for 10 years. I don't even know where I got it, but this is the time when you can do something like that, where you can just use something that you have, use a scrap that you have and have fun with it. I just wanted to have a little bit of pop of color, a little bit of pop of fun there, and that's what we ended up with. So this challenge was supposed to be summer noun. So it was supposed to be like a literal take on something that's very summery. And I feel like watermelons, when you walk into the grocery store and you start seeing watermelons, you're like, it's summertime, that's what time it is. So, I kind of, that's why I wanted to use like those two patterns that kind of contrast each other and make it like summery, but then it was a watermelon, anyways. I think it still turned out super adorable, but I just kind of had to go a little bit different route. But this little polka dot stuff, like I said, I have had it forever. But this is a time when you can just kind of go dig around and use something with flowers, or use something. I kind of wanted to have like this green rind, and then like a green, and then the white, because it's it is kind of such a transition when you're looking at inside of a watermelon. And so yeah, that's where I was kind of taking it. So I have Letters by Stephanie's like monthly thing where you buy I did the whole thing. So anyways, but it was really worth it. She really has some very inspiring, some really awesome, sayings, and just really cool designs. And the person that I was giving this to wanted a saying on there. She said she really liked like positive thinking, positive sayings. And so I thought, summer vibes with a watermelon and a sun. I mean, how more positive could you get, right? So I ended up having to like kind of piece this together, because this vinyl that I used was like a glitter vinyl, and none of my transfer tapes were working. So I was just peeling off piece by piece and little bit by little bit and just applying it on there, because I thought, whatever, we can make this work. We will get this done. But anyways, that was like a holographic gold vinyl that I found that I thought would be cool with the sun and the vibes and the flip-flops. And so, that's how we came up with it, and that's what we did. So then I ended up putting probably 2 or 3 coats of epoxy to finish this up, because I had to sand the handle. I had to sand, the decal was a little bit thicker because it was an offset, with one on top, and then the stripes and just everything. So I kind of ended up having to do like 1 and then 2 and then sand it down really good and then put like a final coat on there. And so after that, we have our beautiful tumbler. There she is, so pretty, so summery, very summer vibes only. I think with the vinyl, with the saying, with the watermelon, the handle, it just all comes together, I think. And this is something fun that you could do with like orange or lemon, and do lemonade or something like that. I mean, you could take this and run with it a million different ways. But anyways, if this inspires you, please tag me in any of my social media stuff. Everything is linked down below. Descriptions, products, all of that. Please like and subscribe and all of that. And I'll see you next time.